In the previous video, I had advised on the benefits of introducing complementary feeds. However, it's also important for parents to understand when to introduce these feeds, as starting them too early or too late will not have the desired effect. Complementary foods introduced too early are of little benefit to your baby and may even be harmful due to the possibility of choking, developing food allergies, or even causing the baby to consume less than appropriate amounts of breast milk. Similarly, such feeds introduced too late may cause the baby to develop nutritional deficiencies and miss the period of developmental readiness. Additionally, the baby may have difficulties learning to eat complementary foods when introduced later on. Therefore, it's critical to introduce these foods at the appropriate developmental stage of your baby. This will not only ensure that baby's nutritional requirements are met, but also help build self-feeding skills. So in this video, I will advise on when to introduce these complementary feeds for your baby. Usually, full-term healthy babies reach developmental readiness around the age of 6 completed months. During this stage, the baby goes through a series of biological changes that allow the baby to accept complementary or semi-solid foods. Around the age of 6 months, baby develops good neuromuscular control that allows baby to hold the head steady without any support and sit upright with or without minimal support. Additionally, there are several other biological changes that also occur at this stage. Firstly, the intestinal tract develops immunologically with defense mechanisms to protect baby from foreign proteins. Thus, the risk of hypersensitive or allergic reactions to the proteins in complementary foods is reduced. Secondly, baby's ability to digest and absorb proteins, fats, and carbohydrates other than those in breast milk and formula increases rapidly. Thirdly, the kidneys develop the ability to excrete the waste products from these foods. Finally, baby develops the neuromuscular mechanisms required for recognizing and accepting a spoon, swallowing non-liquid foods, and appreciating variation in the taste and color of foods. Most babies at this stage will begin to show their desire for food by drooling, opening their mouths, and leaning forwards. However, some babies may not be ready and will show their lack of interest in food by leaning back, turning away, pushing the spoon away, or even closing their mouths. Therefore, it's important for parents to watch out for these milestones to understand when their baby is ready to accept complementary foods. Some of the milestones that parents should look out for are as follows. Hold the head steady and straight. Sit up, either alone or with support. Open the mouth to accept food. Keep the tongue low and flat to receive the spoon. Close the lips over the spoon and scrape off the food when the spoon is removed from the mouth. Keep food in mouth and swallow it rather than pushing it back out on the chin. These are few of the signs that signify that the baby might be mature enough to accept complementary foods. Remember, if the baby is not ready, then it's better to wait instead of forcing the baby to eat. forcing will make the baby more averse to eating, and the baby will resist even further. Therefore, if your baby resists, then please discuss with your doctor as you keep introducing after some time. Also, I come across parents who feed their babies by making them lie down on their laps and pouring the feed into their mouth. Well, this is a dangerous practice that may result in choking of feed particles entering the windpipe. Often parents tend to introduce complementary feeding at an early age because of two main reasons. One, they feel that their baby might not be satisfied with breast milk alone. And two, they think that it will help their baby sleep through the night. Now, both these assumptions are not true. Introducing complementary foods before the baby is developmentally ready offers no real benefit and can even prove to be dangerous. Babies have shown to develop food hypersensitivities or allergies because of an immature digestive tract. They also tend to consume less than the required amount of breast milk. Additionally, there have been cases where choking on food has been reported. Furthermore, contrary to the popular belief amongst parents, introducing complementary foods early does not help babies sleep through the night. The ability to sleep through the night is attained through an important milestone known as self-soothing skills. Please watch our sleep program to help your baby achieve good consolidated sleep at night. Considering all the above points, it's advisable to introduce complementary feeds only when your baby is developmentally ready to accept them. Now that we have understood the detrimental effects of introducing complementary foods too early, similarly, starting them too late also has its share of ill effects. Babies who are not introduced to complementary foods when they are developmentally ready tend to reject the same foods when introduced at a later stage. This typically happens because babies become comfortable with the easier feeding option of sucking from the breast. Then they find it difficult to eat independently. Additionally, they tend to consume inadequate amounts and less variety of foods required to meet their nutritional needs. We know now that as children grow older, breast milk alone does not provide the required balance of nutrients. Therefore, it may result in nutritional deficiency. Further, eating complementary foods at the appropriate age assists in jaw and muscle development, which in turn contributes to speech development. This may get affected if introduction of complementary foods is delayed. Hence, parents should not ignore the important effect that timely introduction of these complementary foods has towards the growth and development of children. I hope after watching this video, you now understand when to introduce complementary foods for your baby. To conclude, the takeaway messages are: most full-term healthy babies become ready to accept complementary foods by the age of 6 completed months. Introducing these foods at the right developmental stage is essential to meet the nutritional needs and to develop self-feeding skills. Between the ages of 4 to 6 months, baby's intestinal tract develops immunologically with defense mechanisms to protect against foreign proteins. Baby's ability to digest and absorb proteins fats, and carbohydrates increases rapidly. Your baby develops the neuromuscular mechanisms needed for recognizing and accepting a spoon, chewing, swallowing non-liquid foods, and appreciating variation in the taste and texture of foods. Complementary foods introduced too early are of little benefit to your baby and may even be harmful due to the possibility of choking, developing food allergies, or causing the baby to consume less than the appropriate amounts of breast milk. And finally, complementary foods introduced too late may cause the baby to develop nutritional deficiencies and miss the period of developmental readiness.